The AVP is back in Fort Lauderdale for the first time since 2010. It's the 2022 Fort Lauderdale Open. The crowd so excited to have the AVP back in town, one of the favorite stops of all time. Quite the match on the women's side in the winner's bracket. We're going to go down to center court in the sand. Mark Sherman with the intros.
And let's do this. It is time to bring the players out on the court, sending another team to the semi-finals. Between these four athletes, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 14 AVP titles coming out on the court. And for this player, she's got 3 of them out of Costa Mesa, California, and the University of Southern California. Give it up for Sarah Hughes. And her partner also with 3 AVP titles, originally from San Diego, out of Pepperdine University, it's Kelly Kolinske. And their opponents. This first player coming in with 2 AVP titles, represented the USA at the Tokyo Olympic Games out of Fullerton in USC. It's Kelly Cheng. And her partner from South Dakota and Loyola Marymount University with 6 AVP wins. Let me hear it for Betsy Meter Flint.
And we are all set to go on center court. On your left side, Betsy Meter Flint to serve. Kelly Cheng at the net. On your right side, Sarah Hughes and Kelly Kolinske. This one should be a battle. We're in the 3rd round of the winner's bracket. The winner of this one will move on to the semifinals. Betsy Meter Flint. A nice cool off the block there for the first point. A lot of history between these teams. Get it out there right away. Sarah Hughes and Kelly Cheng played together, known as possibly the most dominant team in the history of NCAA collegiate women's volleyball, beach volleyball. At one time, the pair won 103 matches consecutively, but now they're on the other side of the net. And so it has become a strong rivalry. Last week, these 2 teams faced off, and it was Kelly Cheng and Betsy Meter Flint who came out victorious. That was the only time that these 4 athletes were on the court playing against one another. So Sarah Hughes, Kelly Kolinske trying to get some revenge. I'm Dan Bland. We'll be joined with Rich Lamborn very shortly. And as we break down this 3rd round of the winner's bracket. Great pass by Kolinske. Betsy Meter Flint going to have an opportunity with no one up at the net, and that one just goes out of bounds. Big keys to this match are going to be the blocking. Up at the net, Kolinske versus Cheng. Who can win that battle? 3rd AVP tournament as partners for Hughes and Kolinske. Nice high roll shot. 6 AVP championships Kolinske and Hughes do combined with other partners. They are looking for their first AVP win together. Here comes Kolinske on the left with a sharp touch shot. Meter is inefficient. Just cannot control that one. So the first side change, Kolinske, Hughes up 4-3. 4th AVP tournament as partners for Cheng and Flint. They have a victory this year taking place in New Orleans. Kelly Cheng's previous AVP win came with Sarah Hughes. That was her first win, and that was back in 2018 in Chicago. So it had been quite a drought for Cheng, and now put herself back on top here in 2022 with a victory. And there is Flint down the line. 4-all here. First set, third round women's winner's bracket. Tough serve right there, but it just goes long. Kelly Cheng, you'll see her be as aggressive as possible. Big hybrid jump float serve that she has. Forceful at the net. Kolinske gets to the net, and Hughes and Kolinske not ready for the on-two. And doing the option when the blocker has to run all the way to the net, a smart move, but no surprise at all. Kelly Cheng, one of the best at that on-two offense. Shot right down the line in front of Flint. Kolinske out of Pepperdine University. Sarah Hughes out of the University of Southern California. Nice pass by Flint. She's going to go back around, and she's able to not only go back around, but then an extreme angle. And we're all tied up at 6 points apiece. Kelly Cheng, great serve, cross court, back set to Kolinske. Kolinske now trying to defend, but not this time. It's Flint rolling that ball to the open court. Flint, 6 titles to her name, one of the best defenders on the tour. Ton of experience, played for Loyola Marymount. Second side change here, all knotted up at 7 points apiece. Look at Sarah Hughes, 3 national championships in the team division, 2 pairs national championships, for a total of 5 national titles. Winning back-to-back championships in 2016 and 2017, along with Kelly Cheng. Flint with a nice deep serve, going to force Sarah Hughes to come up with a creative shot, and a beautiful shot right down the line, tied up at 8 points apiece. Haven't seen any aces or blocks as of yet. All 4 players trying to get in the groove and get things going. Nice deep serve down the middle by Hughes, and she reads this one's perfectly. She's going to have an opportunity to score. Not just yet. Poke shot's going to give Flint an opportunity with no one at the net, and she knows exactly how to make them pay right there. Big hit by Flint. Beautiful back set by Kelly Cheng, and Hughes and Kolinske out of sorts. They had their opportunities on that, and it could be a big momentum swing. Cheng and Flint leading 9-8, ripping it down the middle, and Flint and Cheng going to have another opportunity, and they get that ball down to the stand, and we're looking at 10.
And ends with a point to make it a 2-point lead, 10-8.
(10-8), Cheng and Flint.
We're going to take an early team timeout. 2 minutes for Cheng and Flint.
As we take a timeout, Kolinske and Hughes down by 2.
Take a look at the outer courts.
Their coach,
Larissa Levy taking on Muno and Wilkerson. Larissa Levy, my street, taking on Muno and Brandon.
Rich Lamborn, who has joined us. Rich, you there?
First, they're all tied at 16.
Yes, sir. Happy to be here, Danger.
We had a tight one.
All right, Rich Lamborn, 2008 Olympic gold medalist, there on the men's indoor squad, coach of the Taylors, joining us right now to break this one down. And quite a rivalry we have here, Rich. Always fun to watch Kelly Cheng and Sarah Hughes go at it.
Yeah, it certainly is. Former teammates, of course, at USC, and now two of the top teams separately that we have to offer in the United States.
Kelly Cheng go back to serve, trying to increase this lead. Slight lead that it is, but they have been serving tough. Here's a rip cross court, and it's Kelly Cheng at the net, pressing over for the stuff block.
Yeah, I'm loving these real-time statistics too, and kind of analytics on the distance the players are covering, all that kind of stuff. It's so fascinating.
Yeah, I think it's a huge element, adds a lot to the game, and it can add a lot to the players' training, using these things while they are training and practicing, get the metrics, the analytics for how well they are jumping at the beginning of practice, at the end of practice. Really important data that you can use to become a better player. And this is quite a squirrely rally going on here. And wow, things kind of fell off the rails there for all four players. But nonetheless, we're at 11-9, Cheng and Flint.
Yeah, that's heat and humidity at work right there, isn't it, Dane? I mean, just the longer those rallies go on and the more those meters pile up in distance traveled, the wearier those legs get. And we kind of saw the results of that at the end of that rally.
Beautiful serve right down the middle by Kolinske, and he can't handle that one. And so a slight lead now by Cheng and Flint. Just one as we take the technical timeout.
Yeah, and as seems to happen so often when you kind of fail to capitalize on a point-scoring opportunity, you can tend to give up a reel right on top of it. And that's certainly what happened there in the positive sense for Kolinske and Hughes, and the negative sense for Cheng and Flint.
Come to the KT booth, ask questions, learn how to tape the areas that will benefit you the most.
Taking a look at the stats, Cheng and Flint definitely hitting at a higher clip, 471 to 188. But, you know, Rich, I think the big thing that we're going to have to look at is who wins the blocking category and who can serve tougher. And both teams have started a little slow in both.
Yeah. Cheng and Flint leading pretty big in the digs category too, so you would think that that would be what they would attribute their lead to, along with the better hitting percentage. Those categories, when you can stack them together like that, usually equal good things for your team.
Absolutely. Seeing the crowd checking out court number 1, which is right on the other side of the bleachers. And so much volleyball to be played. I always say Saturday is the most active day. So much going on so many different courts. And this is so great to finally back in Fort Lauderdale for the first time since 2010. And so fans really appreciate it.
Just the rarely seen footfall call right there.
The yellow card has been given, which doesn't really mean much, but still. And net violation, it's 11-12.
Nice little knuckle pokey on 2, Kelly Cheng. That's kind of her signature move right there. She slides laterally in to set the ball and then just throws up the almost Kareem Abdul-Jabbar-esque hook knuckle. Follows it with a tough serve and a chance here. But that set, that option play, maybe it's a little too tight. Kolinske swats it back. Keep her team within one. Ooh, that one falls just wide from Kolinske. Tries the sideline and misses. Nice little cut shot there, Kolinske. A nice little change of direction that time, Kelly Cheng. Went up, saw the defense moving over to the line, chopped it into the angle. 15-13, slight advantage for Cheng and Flint going into this side change. As we approach the end of this first set, it's been back and forth the whole way and kind of as tight as we would expect from these two teams that know each other so well.
That's a beautiful hit right there.
Yeah.
And Kelly Kolinske and Sarah Hughes, you got to think, Rich, that they have revenge on their mind after losing to this team in Hermosa after playing so well.
Yeah, Dan, I know you and I are both big Sam Smith fans, and he has money on his mind. They have revenge on their mind, you're saying.
Absolutely. I think this rivalry has continued to build. Sarah Hughes, Kelly Clays, and I think these four athletes will be battling, you know, to make it to the Olympics in 2024. Kelly Clays making it with Sarah Sponsel. I'm sorry, Kelly Cheng. I knew I'd messed it up once. But Cheng and Sponsel, you know, had a pretty solid run at the Tokyo Games, and now with a different partner trying to make it to Paris. And Sarah Hughes did not make those Olympics, which many thought she could if you would have went back a few years. And so that's got to be her focus right now.
Yeah, good second effort play that time, Kelly Kolinske. Yeah, we've talked a little bit in previous matches how Sarah Hughes kind of got caught in the partnership churn, as it were, right? Got off to a great start of the quad with Summer Ross, but due to some injuries and off the court stuff, that partnership ended, and she was kind of caught in the middle as all the other teams had solidified their position.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. With Summer Ross and Sarah Hughes were playing really well. Summer Ross had a back injury. It seemed to never get better. And then Sarah Hughes was kind of left to figure it out and to get another partner. Here's Flint with a great dig. Can she convert? Just out of the bounds, it looks like. Or no, it's hot the outside of the line. What a beautiful shot right there. 5-meter Flint. Look at that.
Yeah, we talk about the margins between winning and losing being thin, and that was, yeah, a beautiful shot, as you said. Very close to being out, but a perfect shot at the end of it.
Kolinske at the net with a block. Good drop right there, but it's Hughes with the dig. And then Hughes, deep middle, puts it away to cut the lead to 1.
Time here in set number 1.
And probably Kelly and Betsy kicking themselves a little bit. Missed opportunity there. Great dig from Betsy Flint. And they recycled it for even another chance. Unable to put that away. Kolinske and Hughes keep it to within 1.
Yeah, we keep talking a lot about the Olympic Games. The window for qualifying for the Olympic Games should open up right around January of 23. And during that window, it's your best 12 events, your total point total from your best 12 events that qualify you for the Olympics. So only 2 teams per gender can make it. So it is very difficult. And you got to think that Sarah Hughes really would like to get to those games after so much expectation and anticipation going into 2020.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it's kind of the dream of every volleyball player, you would think, and certainly someone with so much promise and so much accomplishment as we have from Sarah Hughes.
Be very interesting to see who makes the Olympics team. Rich, I think on both sides, both genders, you know, it's kind of a toss-up right now because everyone kind of jockeying for position.
Yeah, certainly. And as you mentioned, as we see Sarah Hughes get another dig and tie it up, nobody's really separated themselves. You know, all this AVP stuff is fantastic, of course, battling against your compatriots, but it has no effect on the Olympic qualification. So you really have to establish yourself on the world stage. And on the women's side, we have 4 or 5, even 6 teams maybe that all have a shot at that.
Yeah, it's interesting looking at the squads that are out there. Everybody kind of jockeying for position. That guard is kind of gone with Alex Kleinman and April Ross, who you know were the top team. And I know Alex Kleinman taking some time off. April Ross, I believe, looking to come back sometime soon, but no one really knows the exact story. As we take a look at the play of the day, the Wilson play of the day, that is. Kelly Clays with a beautiful serve, but this one, Rich, goes back and forth for a while. Little roll shot right there. And then leader Flint pokes it. Hughes all over it. Kolinske, and look at this, a jump bump offensive play. I'm not sure what that is out of Sarah Hughes, but it was enough to mesmerize Kelly Cheng and Betsy Flint. And that was a bit of a wonky play there, but nonetheless, Hughes got the point as that one ends up in the bottom of the net. And we are all... No, we're not tied up. Cheng and Flint have set point. Trying to close this one out. It's back and forth. Here comes Hughes. Poke shot over the corner. Beautiful rainbow. $20 all. Kolinske and Hughes serving. Flint tries to rip it at Hughes. Hughes with the dig, and there's a nice set by Kolinske. And over on 2, Kolinske taking way too much time to get back on the court, knowing that Kelly Clays loves to go over, and give the credit to Kelly Clays for noticing the defense wasn't ready.
Yeah, to be fair, it looked like she was hustling her best. She just had to get up off the sand, and that's what's so dangerous about that on-2 game, though, isn't it? Is that Kelly Cheng can pull it out at any moment and catch you when you're not yet recovered from the previous play.
Kolinske going right to it, and Betsy Flint with a unforced error. You usually don't see it, but she's going to have an opportunity to make up for it, and she does. So Hughes and Kolinske really had an opportunity to take care of that point, but they didn't, and it cost them the first set. 22-20. Cheng went with a slight lead.
Yeah, missed opportunity there, no doubt, but also an excellent play, just kind of a heads-up play from Kelly Cheng in the middle of it to swat back that overpass kill attempt from Kelly Kolinske and set it up to her partner.
So Cheng and Flint in set number 1, 22-20. Winner of this one advances to the semifinal.
At Corner Bakery, we're making your choice simple with choose 2 options every day. Choose 2 of your favorites and turn a simple lunch into a perfectly paired meal. And we're not talking about a few choose 2 options. Pair up any sandwich or panini, any cafe fresh salad or warm simmering soup, or any pan sauteed pasta. So many kitchen crafted options, so little time. Your perfect choose 2 combination is waiting at the Corner Bakery.
Dear mainland, aloha. My brother and I hear that most of you only disable your phones when you fly. You call it airplane mode. But maybe you don't have to get on a plane to get away, yeah? Allow my brother to demonstrate. You know what we call this? Kona mode. One life, right? Mahalo.
Longboard Island Lager and Big Wave Golden Ale from Kona Brewing.
Those radio gym shorts that you have from college, they're done. Get them out of here. It's time to upgrade your short game with the one from Fabletics, man.
We love them. Your girlfriend will be stealing these. They're the best.
This fabric fixes another major issue, fit.
It's got this crazy stretch to it that looks so cute when I do my yoga or errands or like literally anything. They're the most comfortable, best feeling luxe-tastic fabric that we have ever worn.
It's the choices we make that define us.
Tryon Trevor is coming off a tough, heartbreaking loss.
And ultimately, the enemy is within. Some people want it, some wish for it, but others make it happen.
Tryon Trevor is super lethal, bringing fire and passion to the court.
How will you take charge?
Welcome back. Summertime here in Fort Lauderdale. The AVP Tour back for the first time in Fort Lauderdale since 2010. It's Cheng and Flint winning set number 1 over Kolinske and Hughes. And they did it, Rich, with a 424 hitting clip.
Yeah, big clip. You mentioned the blocking. We didn't see a ton of that, but we saw some great defensive play from both sides and a lot of ground covered.
Good stuff. If you're just joining us, I'm Dane Bland with gold medalist Rich Lamborn, trying to keep you up with all the action that's going here on a Saturday. The winner of this one will move on to the women's semifinals. So this is the 3rd round of the winner's bracket. The loser will fall to the contenders bracket and have an opportunity to fight their way back to those semifinals, which will, of course, be played tomorrow. But it's Cheng and Flint off to a quick start in the first set, trying to sustain it here as they go back and forth. And there's an ace serve by Kelly Cheng. And Rich, a big story today is the weather, as when we're ever in Florida, the heat, the humidity, the wind. Tell us how it feels down on center.
Yeah, it is. You're not kidding. It is very warm. We've seen the graphics, the heat index at 98 with the humidity and so forth. I mean, you're sweating almost instantaneously. They're hosing the court down in between matches so people's feet don't get fried, and it certainly takes its toll.
Over on 2 is Kelly Cheng, and it doesn't look like Kolinske and Hughes are ready for that option offense.
Yeah, I think Cheng disguises it pretty well, but you would think that Hughes would have kind of the inside info on that, having played alongside Kelly for so long.
Yeah, it's one thing not to get it up, but it's a whole nother thing not to be ready when it happens, right? You kind of have to be still. You have to be ready to in all sorts of different directions. But if you're running to a spot while it's happening, there's not much of a chance to get it.
We're going to take a switch 4-3 here in set 2.
Yeah, very true.
Cheng and Flint up 4-3 here. Good look at Betsy Meter Flint. A great career at Loyola Marymount. There's Kelly Cheng. A fabulous career at USC, winning 3 team national championships. We've got that hybrid type of a jump serve. Very hard to try. And there, Flint from the right side, a thunderous hit.
Yeah, she's really got a kind of a sneaky whip. Doesn't always break it out, but when she does, it's impressive.
Flint more known for her shot and her surgical placement of the ball, but when she needs it, she can rip it. And there's Kolinske, big hit cross court of her own.
Yeah, speaking of ripping it,
Big hit right there by Kolinske on the back set right there. Yeah, really impressed right now with Kelly Cheng's option and when she is opting to use it. That's half the battle, figuring out when to use it, and it seems like she's perfect on it so far. Wow, what a play by Sarah Hughes. Hitting it to that deep corner right there. Big point, much needed point.
yeah, just all around greatness from both players. Great dig and a full layout, perfect set from Kolinske. And then the well-placed knuckle pokey to the corners you mentioned, Dane.
Sarah Hughes continue to serve over to Flint. There's the roll shot. She's all over it this time. Can she convert? And the answer is no right there. That's half the battle. Not only playing defense, but you have to put that ball away when you have the opportunity, because great teams are not going to give you that many opportunities, Rich.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you said it right there. Capitalization on your opportunities is the name of the game, and the teams that do that at a higher rate are typically the teams that have that high success rate.
Out on court number 2, Andy Benish and Nick Lucena, 21-13.
Switching sides now, 7 all. Here's second set. Remember, it's Cheng and Flint who won set number 1. Getting some advice from Jordan Cheng over the offseason. Jordan Cheng and Kelly Clays got married, so got double duty going on there, husband and coach.
Always an interesting dynamic, I would think. I wonder if our sport leads the way in coach/spouses.
Yeah, can you name some others?
There are a lot on the international tour. You know, we had the Czech team of Hermanova and Bara and Maki. Maki was married to their coach Simon.
Yeah. Laura Lund.
Some of the Brazilians. Yeah.
For 9-7, the lead back out to 2 with Kelly Cheng at the net.
Yeah, correct. Laura Ludwig and Morph.
Yeah, actually, never thought about it that much that there were that many. But you're absolutely right, Rich. (9-8), Cheng and Flint with the lead and the comfort of winning set number 1. Perfect pass by Flint, and then not sure exactly what that was by Kelly Cheng. Maybe an over on 2 attempt that gone awry. Maybe a little indecision there.
Yeah, I was going to say, we call that indecisiveness.
There's a beautiful set and a cross-court put away by the
team leads at 9.
Nice set. There's Terry Hughes going deep middle for the point, all tied up at 10 apiece.
Yeah, an excellent set there from Kolinske, really working hard with her feet to get to that ball that was going tight and set a beauty to her partner.
We reached the technical timeout at 11.
Yeah, this one just keeps going back and forth. No real fireworks. No one really dominating at the net or the end line. It's just been played pretty close together, as you can see, 400 to 455, the hitting percentages. But what needs to happen here, Rich, for someone to pull away?
Yeah, well, somebody needs to find some footing defensively, whether it's in the backcourt or at the net blocking, because both teams hitting 400 and up is not what either of these teams are accustomed to from their opponents. They're used to being a little more imposing defensively than that, I would think. So the team that can come up with a few digs and, to your point, put away those point scoring opportunities, I think, is going to prevail in this second set.
Yeah, it's crazy how you look at these stats. They're almost dead even as you go down the entire list, even with distance traveled, the number of jumps out there. It's all within one or two clicks, and it's just about execution. You see Kelly and Sarah, the youngest team to ever win an AVP title. That happened back in, I believe, 2017 in Chicago, and that was a highlight for them, winning their first professional event, and pretty cool for them to do it together after having such an illustrious collegiate career.
Yeah, not to be confused with the Kellys out there. That was Kelly Clays at the time. She and Sarah played together that we're referring to, not her current partner, Kelly Kolinske.
So true. So hard to keep up with the names. And my hardest thing, Rich, is the Kelly Clays to Kelly Cheng. I think I always say Clays at least once for every broadcast. So excuse me for that.
She didn't even hyphenate it for us like Misty May Trainer. She just went full switcheroo and left it up to us to stay on our game.
I know, even her partner, right? Betsy Meter Flint. (13-11) here, set number 2. This one goes back and forth. Very hot and humid here in Fort Lauderdale. About 89 degrees. Feels like 97. Nice cut shot right there. Flint's got it, and Kelly Cheng knows exactly what to do with that ball on top of the net.
Yeah, that's easy money right there when Betsy's that on a cut shot and can just set it up perfectly. Both Sarah Hughes and Kelly Kolinske in the front part of the court there. No chance to get that on 2-ball.
Technical timeout. A 3-1 run to make it a 3-point lead. 14-11 for Cheng. Flint timeout by Hughes and Kolinske.
Yeah, I think I mentioned earlier the last time the AVP was here in 2010. Back then, Rich, the champions on the women's side were Nicole Branna and Misty May Trainer. And on the men's side, we didn't have a champion. Weather stopped it. And Matt Burbringer, Nick Lucena tied. They both got second with Phil Dahlhauser and Todd Rogers. It's rare that you see a tournament not finished, but it has been some time since the AVP has been on the sands of Fort Lauderdale, so it's good to be back.
So that's officially they tied for second, huh? Because if I were either of those guys, I would be saying I tied for first.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of controversy over that, but if you think about it, it's tough to have two champions. You didn't play it. It's a bummer, but I hear you. You know, if you're in that position, you're probably lobbying for the tie for first, not the tie for second.
Right.
Timeout 14-11.
A few years ago, I played a pro-am with Jake Gibb, and we played against Casey Patterson and Ryan Doherty. Or I should say, that's what the final was supposed to be, and similarly, we ran out of daylight. So I just tell people I won that.
Yeah. No one's going to find it in the archives. 14-12, Cheng and Flint. Kolinske with the serve, trying to run to the net. Doesn't get there, but makes the defensive play, and then is going to poke it short for the winner right there. But it's interesting, Rick, that Kolinske not getting to the net, knowing that Cheng is going to go on that second contact.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple times. That's kind of her read, it seems. If she thinks that the on-two's coming, she just kind of holds her ground a few feet from the net, and it works out that time at least.
Wow. You know, you said it best right there. Maybe she knows a lot more than we know right there. She's just stopping mid-court, and that's the second time that she's actually made a defensive play with Cheng blasting it at her. And so seems to be working for her right now.
Well, it certainly necessitates some impressive defensive reaction time, and we've seen that from her on the last two plays. But it's kind of a pick your poison thing. Do I want to try and get to the net and have my position be compromised, or do I want to take my chances with my feet stopped and, you know, try and make a play? And she's made a couple of great plays in succession there.
Yeah, that's a weird way to defend it because, like you said, you better work on your reaction time. And here goes a serve into the top of the net right there. But a big offensive component of Kelly Cheng's game is that over on two. And I don't know how prepared Kolinske and Hughes look for it.
And we stay tied.
Now, if you're Sarah Hughes and Kolinske, you're thinking, we got to get a little bit of a lead here. We're down a set. We can't allow this thing to go down to 20-all. It's just too much pressure. And Sarah Hughes is going to have an opportunity for 16. And she got it.
Right on cue, Dan. Right on cue.
Sarah Hughes takes the lead, and we are taking a team timeout.
Sarah Hughes hits that one with a little swag, little attitude right there. And that's just what she needs. Take a look at our spike of the day. And it was none other Then Kelly Kolinske doing her thing on the left side. The White Claw, hard seltzer, spike of the day. She rips this one. Looks like it goes off the shoulder of Meter Flint. Just a blast right there. Even got the cameraman a little dizzy.
Well, just like when you're drinking White Claw, 2 is better than 1. And Kelly got 2 spikes for 1 out of that situation.
Absolutely. So 16-15, Hughes and Kolinske are up, and that has forced Cheng and Flint to call a timeout. And we're coming out of that timeout. Remember, the winner of this will be undefeated and move on to the semifinals. There's a good look at Kolinske's numbers. Set number 2, she's much improved, hitting .417. Hughes on it again. Can she convert? Yes, she can.
17-15.
Could hear Cheng with the exhortation of high left, but I don't know. You tell me about that, Dane. Do you get locked in as an offensive player into what you think you're seeing versus what your partner's telling you?
It's interesting. You always want to use that partner intel as a secondary, right? If you can get your vision and see where the defense is, I want to go with my gut, what I'm seeing and what my body's telling me to do. But if I can't see or I'm not sure what to do, then I want to rely on that partner call.
Right up the gut, deep.
Big hit right there by Kolinske, and it's 18-16.
Depends a little bit on your partner's track record with calls too, right? If they're always the partner that's calling line while the defender's standing there, you start to ignore those calls.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. If you're making poor calls for your partner, don't think they're going to trust you. And I think establishing that trust is so important. You know, as soon as that trust is gone, you're just out there on your own.
18. Are we going free? Are we finishing it a straight set? Betsy Flint back to serve.
Make it 19-17. So trying to pull away just slightly is Kolinske and Hughes, and try to take this second set and force a third. And here's Terry Hughes, little jump float out of the middle. That right in the middle. Hughes has it up, but cannot control it.
18-19.
Yeah, that big whip around to the left side from Betsy Flint there, and kind of critical juncture here for Cheng and Flint. If they want to win this going away, they're going to need one, you'd think, right here.
And it is set point, 20-18.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Rich. You do not want to lose the momentum here. You'd love to win this thing in 2, but right now it's Kolinske and Hughes in the driver's seat. Set point number 1. And again, it's Cheng with the poke shot on 2 that lands, and it's a 1-point game here. So just a side out for Kolinske and Hughes will do it. And Kolinske not to the spot in time there, and Betsy Meter Flint gets a kill from about 10 feet off the net.
Yeah, just an incredible shot. That was that set was not as good as Kelly Cheng would have liked it to have been, but Betsy doing some unbelievable work putting that away.
Nice block and nice turn by Kelly Cheng as she tries to pursue that one. Just came up a little bit short, but the effort was there.
I got that being a mistake, though, Dan, that you score on Kolinske and then you give it right to Hughes.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, if someone gives up a point, you want to go right back to them. Usually that's the best. They're a little in a pressure situation. They might not be sure of themselves, and so I would agree with you 100%. If someone just gave up a point, go right back at them.
Especially if we look at the way those flags are blowing, they're blowing towards the left side player, in this case Kolinske, on the left side of our screen, which means it's harder to set your partner into that wind, right?
Well, let's switch sides. Blackjack's on the board.
Kelly Cheng with yet another poke over to the open court.
Yeah, great save from her on 2 there.
Good follow, early out of bounds, ball on 22. 21.
Ball just out of bounds, so Kolinske Hughes will have yet another opportunity at set point.
Yeah, that's 3 service errors from Cheng and Flint after 17 here, which I think none of them are going to be happy with.
2s across the board is set number 2, 22-22.
Now Kolinske and Hughes go over to Cheng and to take her out maybe of that on-2 option, but she gets the kill anyway. Wow. And that serve that ends up on their side, Betsy Meter Flint, he goes for that, I think. I think he tries to get that trickler more often than not. Here comes the over on 2. And once again, Cheng is successful.
Yeah, I don't. If you're actually attempting for the trickle serve, I don't mind that in the early to maybe even mid stages of the game. But when you and your teammate have missed 4 serves of your last 6, and it's a chance to close out a match, I don't think that's the time to be going for perfection.
Yeah, I agree, but Betsy Flint has always been such an aggressive server. I think it's one of those things you win doing it, and you're going to go down swinging doing it. Like Cheng right there. I like the fact that they're going to Cheng, trying to mix it up, take her out of that on-2 option play, and make her do something different.
It's the devil you know, right?
There it is, 25-24.
There Hughes right there, a little release shot down the middle. Puts that ball away. Whenever she's a little indecisive, just go down the middle right there. It's usually open, the defender's usually in the angle, and the blocker's blocking line. So smart shot right there. But can they finish it? That's the big question right here.
Getting lots of extra volleyball in pursuit of figuring that out.
Here it comes again, and there is Cheng on 2, scooped up by Sarah Hughes, and a put away right away. So Cheng going to the well a little too often. Finally, her former partner makes her pay for one, and look at the bounce in the step of Sarah Hughes right there, relieved to come out victorious, 26-24.
I see you up there, Robin. Love it. Bring the energy.
We're all tied up, 1 set apiece. Cheng and Kolinske really having the momentum. Can they continue it when we return?
We all know it's a good idea to recycle. But what happens to that aluminum can or all that paper after you put it in the recycling bin? Where does it go? What does it become in its second life? See how WM is always working for a sustainable tomorrow at WM.com/stories.
Get ready for a whole new wave of White Claw. full flavor White Claw Surf. Sensational refreshment for a taste like no other.
Back on the beach of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the AVP is back. 2022 season. This is the 8th event of the 2022 season, 8 of 16. So we're at the exact halfway point. Dane Bland alongside Rich Lamborn as we call the action. We knew we were going to get a good one. Didn't know it would be this good. The number 2 seed of Kelly Cheng and Betsy Flint taking on the number 3 seed Sarah Hughes and Kelly Kolinske. This is the 3rd round of the winner's bracket. Winner advances to the semifinal. Loser will have an opportunity to fight back. And there you see it, one only match versus Kolinske and Hughes. That was in Hermosa Beach just 2 weeks ago, and it was an effective win, 21-12, 21-19. But it all comes down to this: who is going to advance to the semifinal? It's a quick 1-15. Nice set. And a rainbow poke shot by Sarah Hughes. So she does take the momentum into this 3rd set. And she's looked like she's threatening with some confidence, Rich.
Yeah, she does have a certain swagger to her stride, doesn't she?
Jump float out of the middle. Meter Flint is the target, and that ball cut. Almost doesn't hit the net there, and you don't see that very often. Betsy Meter Flint, usually a surgeon out on the court.
Now, they don't want to let Hughes and Kolinske get too many here at the beginning. Because like you said, they had some good momentum going in to this set from the 2nd set. And you want to stamp that out as quickly as you can if you're Cheng and Flint.
Yeah, I wonder if Kelly Cheng does that on-2 contact on her own, or that's endorsed by Meter Flint as well. You don't see partnerships go over on 2 as often as you see Kelly Cheng do it. What do you think, Red?
Yeah, I think that's certainly something that they train, and so it kind of happens organically. It kind of goes back to that element of partnership that we were talking about earlier, the trust. And there's a good serve.
Switch for 3-2.
My thought on it from a coaching perspective, like with my guys, it's not a huge part of our game. Certainly not to the extent that it is with Cheng and Flint, but I focus more on the decision. Was it the right choice to try and do it? And then you worry about the result later. As long as my partner's making the right decision, I can live with the results, right?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think when some people watch, they may not know the intricacies of the game, and they may think that Kelly Cheng, doesn't have confidence. That's not the case. It is a planned thing that they try to do, and it's part of their offense, and it's one of their top priorities of their offense.
Kolinske with the stuff.
Kolinske with a stuff down right there. And Kolinske and Hughes take a 1-point lead here. Meter Flint tries to turn it down the line, and there's just nowhere to go.
Yeah, and we haven't seen a bunch of that in this match. Not nearly as much as we expected, but a nice move to the line there, Kelly Kolinske.
There's the roll shot, and just like that on that 2nd contact, all tied up at 4.
And sometimes it can actually be, a major positive as well. Like you were talking about, is she going on 2 because she doesn't have confidence in her partner? Of course, that's not the case, but it can also give your partner a little relief. She just got stuffed. It can be a little bit of an exhale.
No doubt about it. And that ball rolled down the line and out of bounds. You don't see this very often. A couple of hitting errors by Betsy Meter Flint. But it's just 5-4. This one has been even all the way. I mentioned this is number 2, Cheng and Flint versus number 3, Hughes and Kolinske. There's Sarah Hughes with the dig. She'll have an opportunity out of the middle of the court, and she goes right down the middle. And that's 6 points.
6-4.
Yeah, I mean, if we're being honest, at the risk of being a bit critical, those last couple sets have been in less than ideal position from Cheng to her partner Flint, and it's made it difficult for her to put those balls down. And Kolinske and Hughes, to their credit, have capitalized on those opportunities.
Yeah, that seems to be what has increased for Hughes and Kolinske, the conversion number. They're converting almost every ball they dig currently.
Left on two. Kelly Cheng.
Another on two, a net violation by Kolinske. But another good choice in 3-set matches. Cheng and Flint 6-0. Kolinske and Hughes 2-1. So a perfect record for Cheng and Flint as Kelly Kolinske puts this cross court for a 7-5 lead. So how about that stat, Rich? 6-0 and 3.
That'll give you a little bit of confidence, but they're going to have to work a little bit here if they want to keep that record flawless.
Nice set. Hughes is all over it. Nice hand set by Kolinske, but Hughes can't put that away. We'll have another opportunity here. Can she whip it down the middle? And yes, Sarah Hughes. Another shot down the middle. Smart play, and that'll give them their 8 points.
Let's take a team timeout. No technical timeout.
Some great defense there from Sarah Hughes, and perfectly placed shot there right up the middle.
On court number 2, Paul Lottman, Miles Partain.
Travel distance for Hughes and Kolinske, over 7,000 feet each. Where, look at the total jump. It's like Kolinske getting her work in for sure. And those are some nice jumps still. 20+ inches is not easy.
No, certainly not. And that's fascinating.
Yeah, go ahead, Rick.
There's always the debate, what's the more difficult position to play, the blocker or the defender? According to those stats, the blockers are covering more territory and jumping more. So just from that perspective, seems like blockers have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And how would you rate it if you have an indoor jump of say 35 inches? What's that going to be out on the sand?
Yeah, it's curious to know how that's gauged exactly, because we saw, in Lottman Partain and Case Beer Allen's match earlier, the guy's only getting around 25 inches, and we know that all those guys can jump quite a bit higher than that. And then we saw your girl from SC, Harvard, hit 30. You know what I mean? So it's I'm not entirely sure how that metric is being determined, but I would think if anywhere in the high 20s to low 30s is pretty darn good out here.
Right. Agreed. 9-6 here. Third set. Kolinske Hughes with the lead, and this would be quite a comeback. They lost the first set. We're up against the wall in the second set. Prevailed, and now they're in the driver's seat. Oh, and Kolinske is there, but Meter Flint tweaks it in between. There's just a little gap, and that cost them.
Yeah, and time's starting to get short for Cheng and Flint. They need to make something happen here with some urgency.
Beautiful serve down the middle. Flint gonna have an opportunity, and there's the poke to the corner. And just like that, we're looking at a 1-point ball game. 9-8, Kolinske and Hughes. Now that's the Meter Flint that we know.
Yeah, and the difference there to me anyways was that set in better position from Kelly Cheng. So Flint had some options.
Great set by Flint right there from the backcourt, and Kelly Cheng knows exactly what to do.
Yeah. Not only great dig here, but as she's laid out, you can hear her saying, no one, no one. So she keeps her eye on the court, gives the good communication to her partner. And here we are 11-9.
Straight for 9-9. We're tied now. We're
Kelly Cheng hit that last ball with authority, just ripping it. And Hughes and Kolinske said, that is enough. Let's take a timeout. Remember, they were up 9-6, so it's a 3 consecutive point run for Cheng and Flint, and they seem to have stole the momentum as well. Good timeout.
Yeah, I don't know if we've seen a lead bigger than 3 points in this whole match. Just keeps kind of vacillating back and forth, as we might expect from two such evenly matched teams.
Crowd being treated to an awesome matchup, 2 versus 3. Knew it'd be even. These two teams played against one another a couple weeks ago. It was Cheng and Flint who were victorious. Cheng and Flint also winning in New Orleans about a month ago, and so they're looking for their second win. They'd love to advance here to the semifinal. Cheng serving Kolinske. Cheng with the dig. She's going to have another opportunity to score, and there's the roll shot to make it 4 in a row, and we're 10-9. Cheng and Flint take the lead.
Yeah, just a string of 4 points exactly when they needed it, and that started with a really good serve and a great pull dig from Kelly Cheng.
Here comes Kolinske from the right side. The set's a little bit off the net, and she cuts it a little too sharp. So, wow, this is a huge turn of events. A 5-0 run for Cheng and Flint. And they've just been putting the ball in the right place, converting. But Hughes and Kolinske have made a couple of errors that have been costly. Unforced errors, hitting balls out of bounds, and they find themselves in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, what I like there is that Kelly Cheng has kept the serve on the player they're going after, Kelly Kolinske. You saw that she switched sides. She switched over to the right side on that last play. They kept it on her.
Such a smart move. So many players try to get out of trouble, switch sides. I mentioned on the last men's match we were covering, I'm not a huge fan of it, although it can work at times, but to have the wherewithal to be watching where that player goes and keep the pressure on them, make them actually side out, and that's what Cheng and Flint are doing, just putting the pressure on her right now.
Yeah, I think we missed a block in there from Kelly Cheng. Swatting back a cut shot. Now all of a sudden they're with the opportunity to side out for a 3-point advantage here very late in this third set.
Wow, crushing that ball right there. So it's no secret what they're doing, but they just keep giving it to Hughes and Kolinske. No, you cannot afford that, Rich. You can't afford nobody up at the net.
Yeah, it's tough because, Kolinske rightfully is going after her serve hard, driving it, but that doesn't give her enough time to get up to the net and be in good blocking position, right?
Yeah, that alteration has to happen if these four are going to play again, if Kolinske and Hughes are going to be able to do anything. But just like that, remember, it was 9-6, Kolinske and Hughes. Now they're facing match point. I think a touch off the block right there. So just like that, it's their second point. So imagine, since 9-6, we're talking about an 8-2 run, and you called it, Rich. You said that Cheng and Flint had to make something happen, and that's exactly what they have done here.
Yeah, they certainly did, on the back of some really good serving, some great defense, and I think some better setting and transition to be able to convert on those defensive opportunities.
And there it is on the second opportunity to win the match. Going high off the block of Kolinske. And the sportsmanship handshake at the end, despite the fact that this is a serious rivalry. Love to see that. All players respecting one another's abilities out there. But Cheng and Flint, who step it up when they need to and win this 115-11.
Yeah, and keep a 7-0 record in 3 setters, right, Dane?
You're absolutely right. Just incredible that they have dominated in the 3rd set. So Tina Gradina and Haley Harward, the number 8 seed, are in the semifinals already. Cheng and Flint just punched their ticket to get into that semifinal as well. That means Kloth and Nuss and Hughes and Kolinske will have an opportunity to drop down to the contenders bracket, where they have the opportunity to really fight their way back. It's been an unbelievable day on the women's side. The semifinals, half of them are set, so everybody is going to take a break, relax, hydrate, get ready for tomorrow. And look at the distance traveled right there. Kolinske and Hughes, 16,000 plus feet. Cheng and Flint over 17,000 feet as we look at the analytics. That's it. From Fort Lauderdale for now, the men are up next.